So every year about this time, I try to do something new and keep myself fresh. So we got a camper, hooked it up to the truck, drove 1,500 miles to the Grand Canyon, Kaibab National Park, and boondocked way out in the middle of nowhere in the forest. And Big A and me, this was the first time that we had ever seen anything like this before in our lives. So it was breathtaking and awesome, and really, words and video cannot describe the hugeness and the vastness and the ruggedness of this area. You really got to see it for yourself. It's really absolutely beautiful. And we wanted to go on the Bright Angel Trail. That trail is about 5,000 foot change in elevation and about 17 miles long. That is the equivalent of climbing up and down the Central Park Tower in New York 3 times in one day. So we started really early in the morning before the sun came up. It was really cold because we were at such a high elevation, and we wanted to get a head start before the sun came up so we could make some time. It was really nice seeing the sun come up on one side and really cool. We stopped and watched the moon set on the other side. So it was kind of cool to take off in the morning, watch the moon go down on one side and the sun go up on the other side. Pretty cool. The first half of the day was really nice because there was so much shade, and watching the sun come up, we had plenty of shade, and it was very cool temperatures, and of course everything was downhill. This was one of two small tunnels that you have to pass through there at the very beginning of the trail or the top of the trailhead. The second one is known as the Tunnel of Love for whatever reason. And then watching the sunrise over the canyon was really breathtaking. Watching that, you could actually see the shadow move down the canyon walls as we were moving down. And then, of course, the mascot of the Grand Canyon is Victor Vomit. It's funny, but you see these signs, and you see this guy all over the place. You see signs like this, and it really is a dangerous place to be. On a rock, and it's a 1,000 foot straight drop down, and there's no guardrails or anything to prevent you from falling. It's a little bit funny, but when we did cross streams, we had to be super careful to not get our shoes wet because they were not waterproof, and the worst thing that could have happened to us was to get wet feet, wet shoes. And like you can see at this part, some of the trail is pretty dangerous, and like the park rangers told us, this is not Disney World. Pay attention to what you're doing. We were also carrying about 10 pounds worth of water, food, extra supplies, safety gear, which made things a little bit more difficult, but we wanted to be prepared. Around about 11 o'clock, we made it to the bottom of the trail, which is the Colorado River. So there were some rafters, some whitewater rafters coming in. It was pretty cool. And we got to see those guys, and then we set back off. However, this time we did not have the shade, and the sun started beating down on us pretty heavy. And it goes without saying that it's all uphill from here on out, right? So that made it even tougher. And because we were at such a lower elevation change and the sun was so bright, it got up to about 100 degrees Fahrenheit. So it was pretty doggone hot. We were drinking tons and tons of water, and our bodies were having a hard time processing that water and keeping up with it. Even though we were drinking a lot, we could feel ourselves getting dehydrated and the water just collecting in your stomach and kind of jiggling around in your stomach. But like the sign says, going down is optional, coming up is mandatory.
Yep. Well, they say you can't teach an old dog new tricks. So
I still ain't old dog yet. I ain't old dog yet.
They say you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Jerry's still out. A mile to go.
We made it back to the trailhead right at about 12 hours after we had left, and it was pretty tough, but we were happy to get back to the top of the trailhead. We made some new friends along the way, and they made it out too. And we even got an award for breaking a record and making it one day as a couple. At the end, Big A got a big pizza, and I got a big hamburger. It was an absolutely wonderful trip. It was physically very, very demanding. We trained for 2.5, 3 months to do it. It was beautiful. The area was absolutely beautiful and awe-inspiring. And I suggest if you get to do it, you ought to go see it yourself. It's wonderful. God's creation.